This is Tom Cole, 4th District of Oklahoma, and this is another one of our quick chats about what's happening in Congress really over the last 2 weeks. Quite frankly, Congress has been dominated by the issue of impeachment. Of course, as you know, the impeachment inquiry revolves around discussion between President Trump and the President of the Ukraine, President Zelensky, whether or not there was undue pressure brought to force the Ukrainians into investigating American political figures to the advantage of the president. And we've had some testimony, we've had a lot of controversy, but frankly, we've been engaged in an unprecedented investigation without following precedent. That is, we're in an impeachment situation right now that the Speaker has announced, but the House has not voted on. In the past, and this is very rare in American history, this is only the 4th time there's been an effort to impeach a president. In the past, what the House did was vote to impeach or to consider impeachment, and then set up a process whereby the president and the minority would have their rights protected in the inquiry. Instead, right now, we have the Intelligence Committee, which is looking at the matter. They're doing it behind closed doors, even though there's no classified material. Only a few members get to go and listen to these depositions and hearings at this point. There's been no public process. In the past, the minority would have had the right to subpoena witnesses to appear. Republicans have not been given that right by the Democratic majority. In the past, the president would have the right to have their attorney present, for that attorney to cross-examine any witnesses, and for that attorney to also be able to subpoena additional witnesses for the committee to hear. So far, that hasn't happened. So while Bill Clinton got those kinds of privileges and the Democrats who were then the minority got those kind of privileges, the current House majority has not chosen to give Republicans that. So you've seen a lot of controversy about that. Controversy on the floor. Recently, we had a group of Republican members who actually went down to the secure facility in the basement of the visitor center where these hearings are being taken place. I mean, this is where the Intelligence Committee would normally meet, very secure area, and literally demand to be admitted, and because they, as members of Congress, have not been allowed to hear the evidence being presented, have not been given transcripts of the evidence. So I can understand the frustration. I think it's, frankly, the process so far discredits the inquiry itself and makes it very unlikely that Republicans will be supportive, because they'll look at the process as having been fundamentally unfair and it will produce an outcome that will get us into a partisan fight. I fully expect that if impeachment is put on the floor, the Democratic majority will probably vote to impeach, in which case the item would be sent over to the Senate. The Senate has to conduct some sort of trial. It's not clear at all yet exactly what that would be. The last time this happened, it took about 30 days in the Senate. They might be able to make it shorter, it might take longer. We just don't know yet. But I think it's very unlikely that a Republican Senate is going to provide the Democrats with the votes they need to impeach. That would be a 2/3 vote. That means you'd have to have every single Democrat. I'm not sure you would get every single Democrat. And then you would have to have an additional 20 Republicans. That strikes me as highly unlikely. And frankly, this is something we ought to think about as a country, because we have an election 13 months away anyway. And the American people are appropriately going to hear all this evidence, and they can resolve this issue one way or the other. But I'm not sure that Congress can. In the meantime, while Congress is embroiled in this, there's lots of other things that aren't getting considered. You might remember in August we had a series of terrible shootings. There was a lot of discussion that there would be some bipartisan measure on gun control. We haven't heard of anything. It's literally 4 weeks. Nothing's come up. The appropriations process, which is literally the funding of government, Congress passed a temporary, what's called continuing resolution, or CR, to maintain funding at current levels. My guess is it'll do it again close to Thanksgiving, but the appropriations bills themselves are not being considered. We're not bargaining with the Senate and the administration to come to common agreement. There have been a couple of other items brought up on the floor. One to protect us from foreign interference. It's a very flawed bill. Frankly, it was hastily put together, didn't have a single hearing on that bill per se. And it passed the House, but it won't be considered by the Senate, and it won't be signed by the President if it were. So right now, we're wasting a lot of time, in my view, and energy pursuing something that's unlikely to occur. Now again, if information changes, that's fine, and it's certainly appropriate if people have serious concerns to bring them up and discuss them. But we ought to be doing our other work at the same time, at least. And so far, Congress has not been able to do that. And once you get into impeachment, until it's resolved, one way or the other, I think it's hard for Congress to focus on multiple other things. Now, we do see some progress on the trade agreement front, USMCA. Hopefully we'll have a vote before the end of the year. But we're seeing delayed right now the defense bill, the Defense Authorization Act. That's unfortunate. So I hope things will get better next week, but I can't tell you we've had a productive 2 weeks since we've been back from the fall break, because quite frankly, we have not. But we're going to keep working at it. Hope we can find some things we can work together on. Hope we can get the government adequately funded, and certainly make sure in the interim that the country stays safe and secure as we work through this difficult time.